Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Time with Tanya. I'm glad I get the chance to see you again. It's been a minute. A lot has been going on, and I've missed you guys. I'm hoping that you have had the opportunity to look at some of the past episodes. I'm trying to make certain I still show up for the Red Alert Diaries live, because that is often where I give you that one something that you can take away. And then on Time with Tanya, we just talk about what we talk about when we talk about it. So I want to encourage you. Let me know your thoughts about the different things that you like to have a discussion. And like I'm beginning to open up the Red Alert Diaries live moments so that you can join me there. Make certain that when you see those, that you go in and you click the link so I can send you the Zoom link that I'll be joining. That way we can have a better interaction because I have not had the opportunity to figure out how to see you guys and do all the various things while I'm live. But what I have always wanted to do and always will continue to do is to pour into you the life lessons that I've learned, the paths I've crossed, because the thing that we often forget is that we are in relationship with everything and everyone around us. How we interact, how we respond, those are relational elements. We don't often think about it because as human beings, we complicate things. So in our complex world, we don't see how to simplify things. But when you go through a traumatic experience, or you learn quick, you learn real quick how to simplify some stuff in your world because it's too much going on. If any of you have listened to anything I have shared, you already know. I got married at 21. After 11 years of marriage, found myself going through a divorce, having to raise my two sons alone. That chaos, that trauma, trying to figure it out and support my babies along the way. I had to simplify life. When people walk through traumatic experiences like that, you come out one or two ways. First, you may end up being in a position where you say, because of all the hell I've just walked through, I am not doing that again. Or you may be the individual that decides, okay, that happened. This is what I've learned from it. This is how I'll grow through it. This is what I'll do to get better on the other end. So that when I find that individual, if I choose to connect my world again, I'm going to be okay. But to get to that part right there, that part requires you getting true clarity about who you are. Most of what I teach here and show is to give you greater insight about who you are at the core of your being. Because if you don't know who you are, you will allow people, places, and things to hijack your emotions, rip out your being, and cause you to feel some type of way about what you're going through. Mm. You, you are the primary person that is supposed to be in a driver's seat of what happens in your life. And you can allow your life to be complex, or you can allow it to be a little simplified. How do we simplify it? Well, one of the first things I often share is just do an assessment. I did an autopsy in the aftermath of my divorce. And in that autopsy, I got the chance to see how I showed up. We often have thoughts in our mind about what took place, but when you take the time to really write down what happened in your world, it forces you to take a look at what you did. It forces you to see what the other individuals in your life did, and it forces you to come to some conclusions. One of those conclusions may be, okay, I was a little immature in that moment, and here's where I feel like I need to grow. Or this is what I saw happen, and I don't want that to happen again. So these are the measures I'm going to put in place. Whatever that is, writing down what you have walked through in your experiences will give you the clarity about what to do next. And if you can remember, do a year by year analysis. When I walked through the 11 years of my marriage, I started year one. What was it like for us? Oh, year one is always kind of fun because you're still in what I call the spring season of your relationship. Things are fun, things are loving. My first year of marriage should have been a different clue for me because in that moment, 21-year-old marrying another 21-year-old, trying to figure out this thing called life. We didn't have enough insight about who we were. So we allow the people around us to give us their opinion about our relationships. We allow the people around us to tell us what they thought we should do and how we should do it. So my first year of marriage was a little difficult, but I made a decision. Here's the thing about marriage that we forget. You choose to be in that environment with that person to do this thing called life. And if the two of you keep choosing it, you can get through it. Life is messy. There will be mountaintops where you can scream how much love there is and the joy that exists. But there will also be valleys where you'll struggle through the process, trying to figure out how do we get back up, where things are doing the most excellent elements to support us, to give us what we need, and to help us to continue to be what we thought this would be for us. It's in the valley moments that we lose ourselves. It's in the valley moments that we struggle through the journey. It's in the valley moments that we call it quits. You may call it quits a little too soon because you can still be married to the right person, just walking through a season where both of you are learning how to juggle that journey called life together. And instead of truly doing it together, you decided to still be two individuals in the same environment, but not truly connecting. Because that's what happened to me in my valley moment. In my valley moment, when I decided to call it quits, I thought that I was trying to do it together. But I realized I was walking at that point after 11 years of marriage, where I was doing it on my own. I was looking for us to grow, but we didn't grow together. And while I was growing in who Tanya was, getting healed, getting whole, moving into my best direction, I realized the part of me that married him had grown. And the part of him was still trying to keep me in that space where he felt comfortable, that space where I believe, because I can't say what he truly thought, but what I felt like happened in that moment is that he was still trying to fix this thing called marriage and mirror it to the image in his head. Some of you have heard me share. And if you have my book, yeah, this is what's in chapter 1. When we let the fairy tales that we often read give us an idea about what relationships should look like, what did you read? What stories did you see? What moments were told to you that made you believe that that was the only image of marriage? I found out in the aftermath of our divorce when he and I took a moment to sit still. It was there that I gained greater insight about who we had become. And he did share with me that there were parts of what he wanted because he imagined a world for us. But that vision that he had, he sort of kept to himself and kept trying to morph me into it. If you have a different vision about your relationship with the person that you're in, you got to tell them. You can't keep walking down that path thinking that they are following you on the journey when they have no idea that the path has changed. So my ex and I walked a path I thought at one point we were walking together, only to find that there was a divergence. And in the divergence, that first part, the divorce, DI, is still the same too. He had a different vision. I had a different vision. Divorce of two individuals having a different vision about their relationship. You can have moments where you pause. It's often in the pause that we gain greater insight and can seal a relationship, or it's in the pause where we lose one another. It's in the pause where we forget to make the turns that are needed to get closer to one another. It's in the pause that will break you. And I know that to be true because my current marriage, it's not like Eric and I haven't had our ups and downs. but I still have more mountaintop moments in my current marriage because when he and I are in the valley, we recognize we are in the valley together. And those moments in the valley, oh, they're not all peaches and cream. But in the valley, we know and we choose to continue to do this thing together. So if there's a moment where we pause and he needs to sit in one space and I need to sit in another, we have made a decision that we are still doing this thing called life together. So after 24 hours, we reset. How did you feel about what took place? How do we get there? What can we do next? What questions are you asking when you're in the valley moments of your relationships that will help you stay connected? And it's not just with marriage, because if you walk through the valley in other relationships of your life, you still got to pause and ask, are we still willing to walk this journey together? It's going to take work, but it can be done. It's not going to be easy, but it can be done. The journey may be difficult, but if you take the time while you're in the pause to find the ways of reconnecting, you'll be able to rebuild relationships that got broken, firm up relationships that are sort of teetering, gain more clarity about yourself and the resilience that you were birthed in the earth already possessing. Because we forget some of our inner strengths. We forget some of the stuff that we already do on a regular basis. We just need to bring it into our personal realm to support us on a journey, be strengthened in the process to move into a better direction. My desire in time with Tanya and everything on Tanya E. Hood's YouTube channel is to strengthen you, give you greater insight. Hopefully, help you pause and reflect in the moments that will give you what you need. And I always ask to let me know what I can do to join you on the journey. And if anything that I've shared today or in past episodes that you come across, leave your comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Pass this on to somebody that you think can receive some of the insight. Because in this one-way dialogue, I can only give you snippets. And as I open up other opportunities in different platforms, because I share that sometimes on my channel when I'm hosting my next course. I just recently had a live event inviting people into the next cohort for navigating life after divorce. That event only takes place twice a year. So when that course shows up, if you want to join me, feel free to connect. I also offer some other opportunities that will give you the chance to join me. When those show up, I encourage you. Participate. Get the opportunity if you want to just join the free event to get to know me, because some of you are like, I don't know if I even want to be bothered with speaking to you. Well, have a time with me so that we can have that conversation together. Because if all else fails, what I will always promise to do is to give you one something. Because if you have stayed with me this long, if you are connecting with me in a couple other little touch points, there is one something that our souls are resonating. And if we are connected in that manner, I know that there's one something I'm supposed to give to you. And if that's all you have to take from me, it is good and I'm glad. And I want to be there for you, to join you on the journey, shore you up where I can shore you up, and give you one little something that will support you moving forward. And so for today, if you don't remember anything else I've shared, here's the one thing I want you to know. You can rebuild broken relationships, solidify rocky relationships, and also do that by making certain you have more clarity about who you are at the core of your being. If you want someone to join you on the journey, reach out to me. There's various ways to touch base. Leave your comments below and we can talk a little bit more about it. In the meantime, this is Time with Tanya, and I am enjoying my moment with you while you let me join you while I walk into my purpose. I'm hoping that you do the same. Take care, everyone. See you next time.